Australian PM advisor, and this is not Turnbull's PM, this is actually going back to when Abbott was in charge, but I thought the article's probably about 3 or 4 months old, but I thought it was very important that we bring it up, and it probably won't be the last time I bring it up because I just feel it's really important. Australian PM advisor says that climate change is a UN ruse to create new world order. What he goes on to say is that
this
climate
isn't really
change...
new use, is it? It's not new.
Anybody with half a brain knows this already. You know, anybody watching this going, yeah, fucking oath, why are they repeating themselves? Well, there's a lot of people who don't know this, and that's why we get into it. Now, what he says is that they're going to use the tax from the carbon tax, which is going to which is going to fund into the UN.
When it was the the hole in the ozone layer.
Yeah, that was the problem. Yeah, yeah. But
like people screaming then, New World Order, New World Order.
What were they saying that with the hole in the ozone layer?
Well,
I don't understand.
Well, basically, it went from there's a hole in the ozone layer.
Yeah.
And
Oh, so we need a global government to fix that. Is that what you're getting at?
Well, and then it went to, was it climate change?
Oh, it was global warming first.
It went to global warming because there's a hole in the ozone layer. It's going to cause global warming.
Mm-hmm.
And then it went to, okay, because there's global warming now, it's fucking up all our seasons. So now we're calling it climate change.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's because they realise that there's been no warming for 17 years. No actual warming for 17 years. And all the skeptics were saying, well, why are you calling it global warming when there's been no evidence of any global warming? And they're just like, climate change! Climate change! That's what we're going to call it. What? You're going to lose that camera? Oh, God damn it. Every fucking time, man. There's always fucking something. Our techie sucks.
Don't cheap out on the equipment, dude. Like,
don't tell me to cheap out on the equipment.
I know we're
haven't
like a
bought
little
shit.
independent, like studio type thing, but
yeah. Well, anyway, if that goes out, move this one to there, okay? It doesn't matter. I can't sync that in properly because that's just testing if I can, right? If that goes out, just move that camera to the center and just film both of us. And that way, we could probably get a couple of shots of the flag. But we're going through the topics. We're burning through the topics that quickly. And I think this podcast is only going to be about half hour, 45 by the time we get it all together.
Don't get me wrong. There is the seasons are pretty funky.
Yeah, but it's not fucking. They were. But it's not man-made climate change.
There is a sense, but the whole principle is it man-made or is this just a natural?
It's a natural phenomenon coming from the sun, alright? Just look at fucking Mars. Your car isn't melting the fucking ice caps on Mars, okay? It's the temperatures in the sun that's rising, that's causing them to melt. But then you look at...
As I said, this isn't new news.
I know, but then you have the polar bears. Oh, the polar bears are drowning.
That's
what do polar bears eat?
Polar bears are going to be extinct.
But what do polar bears eat? And no, their numbers are actually doubled in the last 10 years. Just look it up. But I think it's doubled or third, or it's high. But just look at what do polar bears eat? They eat fish. How do they get their fish? They swim. So how the fuck are the polar bears drowning?
There's more ice accumulation around Greenland, is it?
Yeah.
Like they said.
Well, obviously the ice caps aren't melting. If there's more ice there than there was 10 years ago. So they're obviously getting more ice. People just need to look into Lord Christopher Monckton. He's the one that breaks it down real good. I'll probably even throw in a clip of Christopher Monckton about here.
You say that this is going to lead to global government.
Yes, well, it says so in paragraph 38. The word government is there. It says what its powers are going to be. They are enormous. They're greater than any power that any government has now.
This is all based on the science of global warming, which seems to be coming apart at the seams. Because it's cooler. The Earth is now going into a cooling trend. How can you have so much CO2 and going into a cooling trend? It doesn't make any sense if it's caused by CO2. But this in it has a climate or carbon debt that we'll have to pay for the rest of the world because we use so much carbon. You say that you can disprove the CO2 and the global warming.
That's right. It has now been disproved, not by me, I should say, but by Professor Richard Lindzen of MIT. Now, you saw the economic calculations I showed you on the Lord board up there.
My head hurt.
And that's very, very simple. It just says 1 trillion tons, 1 Fahrenheit degree of warming foregone, and that means there's no point in trying to do anything about it. But now, if we can go to the Wise Up window, I'd like to show you a graph from Lindson's paper. Now, what you see there is there are 11 separate computer models graphed there, and they all show that as temperature rises at the sea surface from left to right along the bottom there, then the outgoing radiation at the top of the atmosphere is predicted to fall because all the greenhouse gases in the atmosphere that we're putting there are stopping the radiation from getting out. But these are predictions by the Xbox 360s and PlayStations of the UN. It's what I call globalized groupthink. There is no scientific basis for this. Indeed, it contravenes the laws of thermodynamics.
I mean, I'm sorry for being such an idiot here, but that makes no sense to me. Let me just see if I have it right.
Okay.
The red line going down is the prediction, right?
That's right, yes.
And it means that what's escaping out into space...
You get less and less escaping out to space as the temperature increases. As the temperature increases, less and less radiation gets out to space.
Right.
Because the greenhouse gases thicken because of the temperature increasing, and they stop it getting out. That's the prediction. That's the official theory. If you don't predict that, you can't say there's a problem with CO2.
All right.
If we could have the next slide, I'll show you what really happens. And now look in the middle there. That is a measured result. It took 20 years to compile that one little graph. Professor Richard Lindzen of MIT, the foremost meteorologist in the world, he knows more about this than anyone else alive. He took 20 years. He had to wait until he had enough data points that he could do that graph reliably. And it shows that as the temperature increases, so the amount of radiation going out into space also increases. You'll see that the direction of the graph is completely different in the real world. That's the green one from the Earth Radiation Budget Experiment satellite.
So, okay, so the green is what actually happened.
That's what really happened.
And the red lines all around it
are
what all the predictions.
That's the Xbox 360s, exactly. And so what we've got is a measured result that shows that all the guesses, all the groupthink, all the consensus, so-called, which you can see in those models. They all have a consensus among themselves, but that consensus is now proven by direct and meticulous measurement to be wrong. And why is this particular paper and this particular slide so important? Because what it is showing is that outgoing radiation is not being trapped down here, as Al Gore and the others say it is. It's getting out to space very much as it always did, and therefore, instead of getting 7 Fahrenheit of warming this century with a doubling of CO2, just 1 Fahrenheit. Small, harmless, and generally beneficial. And that paper, history will relate, is the end of the scare.
Back to the title of the topic.
But yeah,
former advisor, was it?
Yeah.
Tony Abbott.
Yep. Says climate change is a UN
has been
ruse.
quoted saying that climate change is just a UN
ruse
for the New World Order.
Yeah, because the idea...
push this agenda.
You moving the camera? Okay. Okay, yeah, well... Yeah, no. Anyway, you know how to work it? I'll trust you. You got it? Alright. But, okay, well, the idea is that trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars have now been spent on climate change, on, being put towards a carbon tax. When China's not paying anything. China's not paying the fucking carbon tax because they didn't sign on for it. But everyone else is paying trillions of fucking dollars. What do you think that's going to do to us? It's going to turn us into a third world nation. If we're having to spend trillions of dollars on trying to fix the climate.
The solution is let's throw money at it.
Yeah. Let's throw money at it. Let's throw it at the bureaucracy that caused all the fucking problems in the first place. Yeah, that's gonna work. Good on ya. You're clever, fucking idiots. It just annoys me, man. How these fucking people think they can get away with it, and they continuously do. I guess they don't think they know they can get away with it because they constantly do get away with it.
It's going to be an ongoing debate.
It's not a debate. The debate's over. The second they change it from fucking global warming to climate change, you realise it's just a fucking fraud. And the fact that fucking the UN is getting so much money for this goddamn thing just goes to show it even further.
Also, I think the IPCC.
Yeah.
Is that the ones that were caught out dabbling with the statistics, the data?
Oh yeah.
The hockey stick thing.
You know,
the graph, the hockey graph.
Hockey
stick theory.
They were
apparently caught out, numerous times, not just once, but a few times, like dabbling with data and statistics and stuff like that.
Yeah. At the end of the day, man, everybody knows. Just go outside. You realize, fucking the weather hasn't changed since I was a kid. It's called, you can't call it climate change. It's called the seasons. Get over your fucking selves trying to fucking push this climate fucking bullshit onto me. Anyway. So what do you want?
See, like here in Australia, where and they brought out the carbon tax. Another, let's throw money at it.
Yep.
Let's give our money to the UN.
Yep.
It's just a
dead
Does
anybody really think that the fucking pyramid structure is ever going to work? Why the fuck do they keep thinking that this pyramid structure is ever going to fucking hold fucking water? It never does.
This is why it's a good thing in the world that we have critics and we have skeptics and we have people that are willing to look into that a little bit further and go, hang on, something's amiss here, something's a bit fishy, this doesn't sound right. And in the long run, it seems as though we get fucked over.
Yep.
So that's what that comment section's for. These people are good, like, keep it up. We need more critics.
What do you think about the whole, people trying to push the climate change agenda? Do you think they're just good-hearted people who just believe in bullshit, or do you think that they've got an alternative agenda, or do you think it may be both? You got to say something.
Well,
I know maybe a bit of a loaded question, but still.
A few questions into one.
Yeah, true. About 3, if you want to get technical.
I don't know. Me personally, I think it's... Personally, this is my opinion. I don't think it's a man-made thing. I think it's a natural thing.
Yeah.
It's happened in the past.
Happens in cycles.
It happens in cycles, just like seasons. We've got summer, summer, winter, autumn, spring. It happens in a cycle, same as life. The cycle of life, from birth to death.
Lion King. Just look at the Lion King.
It comes around. The Lion King. It goes around, just every what would you say, a few thousand years? Yeah.
You have the Great Ice Age. Just look at history. We're just we don't have to worry about global warming. If you want to worry about anything, it's about global cooling, because that's what fucks people the most. Global cooling is the one that fucks with people the most. Just look at history. Anytime it's gotten cold, people die. People can survive when it's nice and warm, even if it's really, really, really fucking warm. People can survive, but when it gets really cold, people fucking die.
If anything, I think the real war is against liars and corruption and greed.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. And
okay.
People will push agendas for their own personal gain.
Yep.
Regardless of if it's right or wrong, or if it's good for the greater good or better for them.